Because I'm hearing about artists paying victims to keep their name out of it.
Do you know people who have had demands put upon them where they have paid off to keep this quiet?
Here's what I do know. People do catch and kills all day. And a catch and kill, I don't know if, of course you know, but for the regular world, somebody has the truth, somebody pays you to keep it quiet, and hopefully that money that you got paid secures your happiness while you watch the lie continue to succeed.
I want to just make sure I understand you. What you're saying is what? That you know people who have been approached by women, men, whatever, who have said, give me money and I won't talk?
Here's the other way around that, Harvey. I'll give you money, please don't talk.
You are a well-connected guy. Do you know that what you've just described, is that going on now?
Yes. They want to talk to me. They want to talk to me about what happened to them. They call me. They feel like they can trust me.
Wait a minute. Calling you for what? Calling you for what?
Because they want to tell me about certain things that happened with them and Diddy.
Ray, I want to make sure I understand this. Are these high-profile people calling you because they've had some affiliation with Diddy that they don't want to come out and they think you might be the vessel for it coming out? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Diddy is not the only one who had them freak-offs.
Of course not.
If Diddy is, you know, woo, 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 and Cassie definitely is a victim, Diddy ain't the only person going down. So y'all want a story time about how I unintentionally attended a freak-off. I think it's crazy because people think that only Diddy started these freak-offs.
Of course
but
not.
I'm pretty sure anybody in the industry can tell you exactly how often freak-offs happen.
Nobody thinks that he's the only one that does it, but everybody knows Diddy, and that's why he's in trouble. And this is why wealthy people don't want to be famous. Because if you're wealthy and you're not famous, you can pay to make things disappear. You can pay a judge, you can pay a police officer. Sometimes, if the case is even worse, you can make witnesses disappear. Bad things happen to good people all the time. You might slip and fall. Maybe your brakes go out. You just never know what happens. But when you're wealthy and you're not known and you're not famous, you can get away with more. Diddy is in trouble because he's famous, so the public is going to hold them to more scrutiny when it comes to his case. But I'm sure there are plenty of freak-offs that happen all the time just by people who can pay to make things disappear and make people disappear if they need to. And it don't even got to be as bad as freak-offs. It could be a minor ticket. It could be a traffic violation. It could be you being overly drunk in a bar. Whatever it may take, if you're not as famous, you could get away with a lot more. But when you're famous, people are going to hold you to a higher standard. You can't get sucked off by a prostitute no more once you're in the public eye.
No, this was back in like 2016. It was in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm going to get straight to the point. Invited out by a group of people that were in the entertainment industry because I was a dancer and I had pools and connects. I had girls, so like anybody else that was in that time, everybody
Pools
wanted
and
to go to
connects.
Atlanta. Atlanta was the Black Hollywood. So I go to this restaurant, nice ass restaurant. I made the comment that I was cold, and these people literally brought me a personal heater. Like, I mean, to me that was something because I was young and it's like, okay, little old me. Okay. So fast forward that night. It was 3 men, and this is at the hotel. It was 3 men. I was family with one of them. So mind you, I was supposed to have 2 separate rooms. Everybody was in one room. I'm the only female in the room. That was the first red flag. I didn't care because I just knew at the end of the day, like, I could call up a female and it's Atlanta. Like, come on now. Hey.
And this is the part of the trip that they don't show you. And that's why I tell young girls to be very careful about what they look at on Instagram and what they think they want, because these women are trading something off. You only see the meal. You only see the hotel room. You don't see the old white dude that's in the back waiting for his turn. That's the part of the trip you don't see. The only time you hear about that part is when it's 10 years later and they're complaining about their circumstances. But they're signing up for this lifestyle. And if you're not capable of competing and doing the things that they're willing to do for that lifestyle you see on Instagram, it's not meant for you, because they're willing to do anything. And if you're not that type of person, you're not going to be able to compete with women that are willing to do anything for that lifestyle.
We go to this party that I wasn't even intentionally invited to. It was like I was just a plus one. Mind you, I did know the dude very well. It wasn't like he was a stranger. No, we had done plenty of shows together with, I don't want to name drop, but like I am just to show credentials. It was Jessica, Don, Melissa.
I don't want to name drop the name
Stevie.
drops.
We had to work with a couple people. Okay, at the time, Love and Hip Hop was just starting out. So later on that night, it was a party, and it was a masquerade party. Did not know too much about masquerade parties. I just knew that it was this big mansion masquerade party, and everybody had to wear masks. So walking in, everybody had the type of mask that you wear to your face. If you didn't have one or brought one, they had them like at the table as soon as you walked through the door. Mind you, you did have to have a code, like a secret word to get in. And once you get in, it was literally just like a regular mansion ballroom type of thing. So this is where it get crazy, right? So my homeboy, or whoever you want to call him, he's an older dude. I'm younger. You probably would have thought the nigga was my sugar daddy, but
Sounds like he is to me.
You know. And for the people in the SIP, if you know the only man that I was hanging around and now he's locked up, you do the math. And no, it's not Diddy. Be for real. So anyway, this whole mansion party, it was like, you wouldn't have known if it was any celebrities there, like I said, because everybody had on masks. And I don't think this had anything to do with like no. So the guy that I'm cool with, he wanders off and he leaves me because there was like this back room. It had a red rope and it was security standing there. And if you did not know anybody, like you had to know somebody to get in this back section. Okay. That's like alcohol. But y'all, the alcohol was not the same type of alcohol that I drink now. And I was not a drinker until I started dancing. So it really makes me think now how much I honestly did not remember, like, I don't know, minutes.
Yeah, it might not have been Spike. She might have just been drunk off of her ass because she was experiencing something new and it was fun. And she just said that she wasn't drinking that often until she started dancing. I don't know, man. I don't know. But it might not have been Spike. Sometimes people will say that, and I'm like, no, bro, you just had 5 of them back to back in the same hour. That's why you as drunk as you is. Talk about the drink Spike. No, it ain't.
Comes back, he says immediately, y'all, we gotta go. Y'all, when I tell you, when we get back to the room, this man act like he had seen a fucking ghost.
Oh.
And he literally told me, I'm trying to get straight to the point as possible. There were Asian kids that were performing sexual acts on Caucasian men. There were Vietnamese or Asian kids, again, serving Uggs on trays, dancing on top of tables, basically entertaining these men. And it was
that's not a freak off. That is a human trafficking ring. That's not a freak off. That's a criminal enterprise. Freak offs are for women who are younger, who are looking for opportunities, so they do promiscuous things with men that have power, and then they complain about it 15 years later. That's what a freak off is. I'm talking about consenting adults here. I'm not talking about kids. You're talking about this is a human trafficking ring. This is not a freak off anymore.
Different rooms. It was room after room after room with this going on. He said that he was so disturbed because he had kids young. He had kids older than the kids that were doing all of this stuff. And the kids obviously had been so used to it. So honestly, it had me thinking, if a grown man is spooked out behind what he saw, how, till that day, y'all, when I say he was, like I said, promoters back then were not the same as promoters we're not the same as promoters now. Promoters back then actually booked people, like I said, we booked numerous of celebrities at the time, and it was never no problem. And like I said, the names that I dropped had nothing to do with this freak off, so that was just for credentials. But he stopped promoting, he stopped doing music, and he's also locked up right now for, like, I think drug charges. I don't know.
Oh, well, damn, he got a hell of a get out of jail free card. I think it's time to start talking. All of a sudden, I would be very inspired to talk. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. If I was in this situation, I probably would have drove straight to the police station. I would have had to do something about that. I don't know if I could be okay with seeing children involved in that type of act and just not do anything about it. I don't know if I would be able to be that type of person.
But he was never the same after that. He saw, but a couple years later, after this whole Justin Bieber Yummy Yummy video came out, y'all, that stuff made me sick to my stomach, because as soon as you walk in, it was Just go watch that video if you ain't watched the video. But that's basically exactly how it happened. So I say that to say this. Diddy is not the only one who had them freak-offs.
Of course not. Hollywood is sick, and they try to virtue signal to us all the time, but the veil has been lifted, and this is why nobody respects any of those people. We don't care about you anymore. We don't care about who you vote for. These are not virtuous people. They live disgusting lives, and this is why nobody respects them anymore. The veil has been lifted, so...